For those of you listening on the pod,
welcome into hour two. The new people went, "What the hell was that?" Hang around, buddy. It gets weird around these parts. I'm just telling you right now. All right, let's start off with the edge room here, Tim. Obviously, at the top of the depth chart, you've got Rashawn Gary and Lucas Van Ness as your starters. Now, you'll notice Kingsley Enagbare listed above Brenton Cox. Again, no particular order. I just want to put that up there, mainly because Kingsley Enagbare's had a large majority of the backup snaps, right? So you got Brenton Cox, Aaron Mosby, Barron Sorrell, Deslin Alexander, and then Colin Oliver. Now, Tim, we talked about Colin Oliver before, just always a shoe-in, going to be on the 53. Now we're hearing a little bit of injury concern, right? Maybe it ain't nothing, but this is what we're talking about. There's a chance Colin Oliver starts on the PUP list, you know, coming out of camp. If that happens, then what are we looking at here? You know what I mean? Rashawn Gary, Lucas Van Ness, Kingsley Enagbare, Brenton Cox. There's your 4, Barron Sorrell's 5. If you carry 6, who's it going to be? It's going to be Aaron Mosby. It's going to be Deslin Alexander. Going to be Colin Oliver. If Colin Oliver's healthy, there's your 6 edge defender. And plus, Colin Oliver can play a little Sam, a little Will, a little hybrid stack backer. That's what you're looking for is these guys, just like Bo Melton. So making it hard to cut him out of the wide receiver room is what if he can play corner in a pinch? You know, that's valuable. So,
yeah, I 100% agree. I would think if Oliver is healthy down the stretch here throughout camp, I think him and Mosby are competing for that last spot for sure.
Mm-hmm. There you go. So, again, when it comes to that defensive side in the edge room, the top 4, their top 5, it's shoe-in, right? Barron Sorrell, Brenton Cox Jr., Kingsley Enagbare, Lucas Van Ness, and Rashawn Gary. Yep. If Colin Oliver's healthy, he's your 6th. If he's not, I think he might just carry 5, Tim. And look to maybe activate somebody out the practice squad when you need it. You know,
we talked about JJ Enagbare too. Like if that guy takes the slightest step backwards, there could be movement. You know, we'll just put it like that.
I'm gonna tell you, this guy right here.
Yep.
On my radar, big time.
Yes, sir.
After going back and watching the tape, Brenton Cox Jr. did not put much negative on tape last year. It was a lot of fun watching him play. It looked like he beefed up a touch. It looked like he learned how to contain a little bit better against the run. He was way more gap disciplined in the run fits. And then he get out there and get after the quarterback, man. I mean, you're talking about a guy who led the team in quarterback pressure percentage, finished with 4 sacks on far fewer snaps than everyone else, you know, in terms of the edge room that had the significant numbers. So going to be interesting. He is thicker than a bowl of oatmeal. All right, let's move on to defensive tackle, Tim. At the top of the depth chart, you got Kenny Clark, Devontae White, Carl Brooks, Kobe Wooden. All right. Now the question becomes, who else do you carry? There's 4 for defensive tackle. Okay. You got James Esther, Keith Randolph, Warren Brinson, Nazir Stackhouse. What it's feeling like to me is if he's healthy, Warren Brinson will be the 5th you carry. If you carry 6, it'll be Nazir Stackhouse. However, if you just carry 5, do the best you can to get Nazir Stackhouse on that practice squad. I think it'll be tough, man. I do. I think it'll be tough. Now, James Esther obviously returning from the practice squad. Maybe they like him enough there for the scout team, get another big body in there on the scout team and help you during practice. That's what the practice squad's for, obviously. So that and just trying to hide diamonds in the rough as the Packers have done for years. But what do you think there, man? Am I wrong, or do you think it's Warren Brinson and Nazir Stackhouse rounding that out if they end up carrying 6?
Yeah, I'm with you there. I think so. I think Nas Stackhouse could prove to be one of the best UDFA signings in the past couple of years for the Packers. Hopefully I'm not getting ahead of myself here, but I've got high hopes for Nas Stackhouse, man. You know, I love my Georgia guys, right? And then, Warren Brinson, another guy we're really excited about. I think those are the 2 for sure, other than Wooden, Brooks, and Wyatt and Clark for sure.
I wanted to go back if I could in time, and I don't think I can there. Maybe I can. I wanted to be able to go back at certain points for the consensus big board. And I don't want to take the time to do it right now, but if I could go back to the end of the 2024 season so you guys could see where Nazir Stackhouse was at the end of the college football season, that dude was like, he was flirting with the first-round pick. I remember 2 years before he was up, like the year before he came out in the draft, people expected he might be one of the top defensive tackles taken in the draft. And
did we ever figure out why he went undrafted?
I know this about him. He's got narcolepsy. Okay, if you guys don't know what that is, narcolepsy is a medical condition.
It's extremely scary, is what that is.
It's a medical condition where you can just at any moment randomly fall asleep. Now, y'all going to get a good kick out of this. All right. My grandfather had a form of narcolepsy, but it was, I'm not making this up. Y'all hear my accent, think Clayton's telling tales. He got kicked in the head by a horse. That happened. And from that day forward, they said he'd be sitting at the dinner table eating. His face would hit the plate. He'd just crash out. Narcolepsy. Now, it was more of a physical induced, type of it. But with Nazir, obviously, I think it's something he must have been born with. I don't think it was anything that happened from an accident or anything when he was young. But yeah, they said he'd be sitting on the bench and just fall asleep. And
I'll tell you what, I got $100. I know you got $100. Let's buy an extra case of smelling salt. Just put a box right there next to him and give him a spot on this team. Let's go.
Heck yeah, man. 2-0 for this says, that's why everyone slept on Stackhouse. I see what you did there. I see what you did.
That is terrible.
That's terrible.
So, yeah, there you go. I don't know if 2-0 for this is being serious or not, man. I don't know how to take people in the chat sometimes. He said, I have a form of it, but that's from concussions. I think he's being serious there, and I think that's what happened to my grandfather, obviously out there working on farms.
We know 2-0 for this is a veteran, so it could be, something from the military. Thank you for your service, sir.
Yeah. Daryl in the chat says narcolepsy is not really life-threatening. I like what Packer
is if you fall asleep in front of a 350-pound lineman in the middle of a game.
Packer Up said, Daryl, it is if you're driving, LOL. No doubt about that, man. So Drew D says, my roommate had narcolepsy. He fell asleep at the movie theater and kept falling into the kid's seat next to us, and I couldn't wake him up. So I had to keep moving him over. Man, I didn't know this many people. I thought I was going to be the only person with narcolepsy experience here with family members and friends, but it sounds like everybody. It's touched everybody. Maybe we need to do our next charity thing for narcolepsy too.
Hey, like I said, let's give away a case of smelling salt.
Again, Nazir, I think that's probably why he fell. And it's not like teams were like, no way we're drafting him. He's got narcolepsy. I think it might have been something where, you get 2 or 3 guys in the same tier. When we build our board, Tim, you kind of seen the horizontal board and the tiers of players. If you've got a group of 3 defensive tackles, one's got personal issues, one's got narcolepsy, and the other don't have any kind of red flags, you're probably going to take that guy, right?
Yep.
So I think that's probably how he fell. And it's not a knock on him. Look, man, he can't help it. It's a medical condition. But how cool would it be, man? What kind of story would that be if the reason that absolute stud of a defensive tackle went undrafted, fell right in our lap, ends up going on to be one of our better players, and you're going to have that storyline tied with him throughout his NFL career? I think it's kind of cool, man.
I do too. And how awesome is it for him to go undrafted, but here he is in Green Bay, and now he's in with, NFL level medical staff. He's going to have the best of the best looking after that condition that he has. And, it's probably not something that just goes away, but if he learns to manage it, or they find creative ways to treat it, or, mitigate those issues, I don't see why he can't have a great career in the NFL. So I'm with you, Clay. I'm all behind him.
Yeah, and 2-0 for this confirmed. He had 6 concussions, so that's definitely, he was being serious. He said narcolepsy doesn't care about coffee. Ain't nothing can help it. Boy, when it turns off, it turns off. I've seen that firsthand. So, all right, let's move on to linebackers. Starter, Quay Walker. You like how I shook that up? Quay Walker and Isaiah McDuffie, your starters. Of course, Edgerrin Cooper. Let's go, man. Edgerrin Cooper. I think there's a decent chance that Edgerrin Cooper wears the green dot this year. I don't know if they will or not. He definitely beefed up, got up over 240. And, again, you think, Clayton, what's the big deal there? Why? Well, as you guys know, Will and Mike in our nickel 4-2-5 is very interchangeable. You hear me talk about that all the time on the show when we do film breakdown. We point it out every time, right? But Edgerrin Cooper coming in the league, if you kind of got him as a will build, meaning, 225, 230 be fine. When you see a guy blimp up to 240, 245, start flirting with that 250 mark, Tim, now you're talking about a gap-destroying Mike linebacker by every definition of the word, and you're 4-3, put him right in the middle of the defense. I think there's a chance he takes that step, but there's also a chance, as we seen last year when Quay was healthy, right, you got to see him kind of take a step forward a couple times there late in the season. Now, somebody said that Quay was in a walking boot. Somebody confirm that for me in the chat there. Is Quay Walker in a walking boot? Does it sound like he's going to start on PUP IR? Because I didn't find any. Is that what it was? NFI?
I think he's on the NFI list. Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. So if that's the case, really shakes things up here. Now I think he'll be ready for week 1, so maybe it doesn't shake it up. But Quay Walker, Edgerrin Cooper at the top, right? Probably Edgerrin Cooper, then Quay Walker at the top. Isaiah McDuffie, Tyron Hopper being a 3rd-round pick, he's going to make it, right? Now the question becomes if you carry 5 or 6. If you carry only 5, Isaiah Simmons would be my 5th over Christian Welch and Jamin Johnson, all right? If you carry 6, I'm keeping Christian Welch over Jamin Johnson. I think it's reasonable to believe now that Christian Welch was available once again this year and Goody picked him back up, you can get either of those guys on the practice squad. I'm not sure you could get Isaiah Simmons over to the practice squad, though. So for me, I would carry at least, if everybody's healthy, Quay Walker, Edgerrin Cooper, Isaiah McDuffie, Tyron Hopper, and Isaiah Simmons. What say you, Tim?
I'm going to be boring and once again agree with you 100%. Here we are with our annual training camp with Christian Welch in the beginning, in the building, and getting me excited about the Iola, Wisconsin zone, possibly making this team. And of course, he probably won't when it's all said and done. If they're keeping 5, I think it's Isaiah Simmons as your 5th. But, camp has a way of kind of thinning the herd. Like you said, man, sometimes guys tweak things. You have injuries, minor setbacks. I'd feel pretty good about a guy like Christian Welch squeaking his way onto this team. I don't think that you can save him on the practice squad. I think he'll get snatched up right away. Same thing with Isaiah Simmons as well. So I think one of those 2 names has to be your 5th stack backer for sure.
In terms of the mic question there for Cooper, Ron Sample makes a great point. He says, do you want to put that on Cooper's plate? That could result in the sophomore slump. I think that's a very fair, way of looking at it. However, we seen on tape last year, Ron, he played Mike, right? We've seen it from time to time because it's interchangeable. We also seen him barking out calls to Quay Walker on the tape. Yep. So here's the way I look at that. He can either handle it or he can't. I think the team will do a good job determining whether he can handle it. Imagine – I got to watch my words here, Tim. We've been talking about Edgerrin Cooper. We've been mentioning him in names like Lawrence Taylor, Ray Lewis, people like that. And the reason being is because we in Green Bay have never seen a rookie linebacker come out and do what he did, right? I mean, a stack backer. Not even A.J. Hawk, and you guys know I think A.J. Hawk was a great linebacker. If he hadn't been taken in the top 5 – and he was drafted in the 2nd round, he would be one of the most beloved Packers in the history of Green Bay. But the fact that he was taken so high, people look at him as an underachiever. I just don't see it. Team captain, won a Super Bowl after winning a national championship in college. He did everything you could do. He was always voted team captain. However, Edgerrin Cooper's different, man. So the point I was making, Ron, is imagine if they would have approached it like that with a Ray Lewis. Or, Lawrence Taylor, it was different back then, obviously. But imagine if Ray Lewis are like, okay, we don't want to put too much on his plate. Then they wouldn't have been able to see right out of the gate, holy cow, this dude is a quarterback on defense. And on top of that, he's just an ass kicker. You know what I mean? So,
we've got that example right here. Look at Quay. They threw Quay into the fire as a rookie. Green dot. He was the mic right away. You can feel how you want about how he performed, but if he could handle that right away, I'm sure Edgerrin Cooper can handle it in year 2.
Yeah. And here's the thing too, with people saying that Quay hasn't lived up to that 1st-round talent, that 1st-round draft pick, who's to say that if they didn't slap it on Cooper and he can handle it, maybe that unlocks Quay, that he gets that off his plate. So I think Ron makes a good point,
I agree.
So, I want to say no. I don't think it'll result in a sophomore slump based off what we've seen, Ron, because he was already barking out orders, this and that. The only difference if he wears the green dot is it's radioed into him. That's it, right? He's still got X behind him navigating track. So it's literally go to the huddle. He's going to hear the call before everybody else, relay the call to everyone, and then that's the only difference. So it's not like he's going to be out there completely lining everyone up. That's not what Quay was doing. You got X at safety kind of helping direct traffic. And we seen last year Evan Williams pointing at X a couple times, right? So I think
let's not look past the obvious choice too, that in a pinch, Zay McDuffie is your green dot. I think if we got banged up at the end of the day and you need someone to get those calls in, say we're down Quay, say we're down even a Tyron Hopper or somebody, and it's Coop and McDuff out there. I think you let Coop just do his thing and you let Zay McDuffie wear your green dot.
Yeah. Drew D in the chat says Quay Walker was seen at minicamp on a one-legged scooter and his foot in an orthopedic boot. So thank
Me
you for
no
that.
like that, Jan.
Yeah, thank you for that information, Drew. I'll tell you who. I don't want to say he likes it, but he's just chomping at the bit to get his shot. That's Tyron Hopper. There's no doubt about that. Now, think about the Isaiah Simmons signing now, Tim. Forget whether Quay's going to be ready week 1 or not. I feel comfortable saying he probably will. I'm sure they took all precautionary measures. It's probably why we've seen him on the scooter, right, Drew? So if that's the case, imagine the Isaiah Simmons. Let's say Quay isn't ready, right? Having Isaiah Simmons come in and battle with Tyron Hopper for that third linebacker spot in your base 4-3, it's going to be ran probably 20 to 25% of your defensive snaps. Goody knew what the hell he was doing, man. I feel like he really built the back half of this roster a little bit better. And we said, hey, look, we need some more veterans on the team. He went and did that. I heard somebody on radio the other day. Again, I'm trying not to rant on the radio, but my God. It's like you just don't have enough veterans. You didn't go get no veterans. You signed Aaron Banks, veteran. You signed Nate Hobbs, veteran. 2 big free agent signings, right? You also went and got Mecole Hardman, Super Bowl champion, veteran. And you went and got Isaiah Simmons, veteran. Like, you added 4 veterans who are going to see significant playing time this year. Stop talking into a microphone if you don't want to take 2 seconds to understand what we actually did from an organizational standpoint.
Hey, that's all right. Those radio guys, Clayton, hey, it's all good. You know why?
Don't worry, nobody's listening anyway.
There you go. It really drives me crazy, man. The other comment too was now the talking point when you pointed out, like, to go back to Rashawn Gary for a second, led the team in sacks. Well, the team was bad at getting sacks. We were 9th in sacks. Well, a good chunk of those sacks came in 3 games. What's your point?
Yeah.
We're not allowed to have 3 good games? Like, what? Right? And then on top of that, it was now the latest thing I'm seeing making its way around Twitter is, well, if the defensive line, the pass rush was so good, why did they fire their defensive line coach? Because the defensive line coach was held over from Joe Barry's regime, maybe? I pause for dramatic effect. Like, what are we?
And Coach Covington is the real deal. And if you have an opportunity to bring a guy like that in, you do it.
It's literally every argument that they make gets smacked away with facts. Yep. And now they're down to, well, they fired a defensive line coach because the pass rush was so bad. I can't take it. I'm just like, I'm moving on. I'm moving on with my life. So let's move on to cornerback since I'm moving on from that. Cornerbacks, Keyshawn Nixon, Nate Hobbs, Carrington Valentine, Gregory Jr. You're going, who? I'm going to talk about him in a second. Bo Melton, Kamal Haddon, Kalen King, Isaiah Dunn, Tyron Herring, and Micah Robinson. Now, remember, Micah, a little bit of injury concern there, right? Bo Melton listed in here just still cracks me up, man. I don't think
the top of the list, as well.
I know, and I shook it up like that for a reason, but it's like, are we really going to see Bo Melton play corner? Probably not, unless injuries hit real hard. But I'll tell you, it's nice to have him on the roster. If for some reason, let's say you've got 4 corners, let's say 5 corners activated for game day, 2 of them go down with an injury, you're going to be really happy that you kept Bo Melton on the 53,
For sure.
So something to think about. Now, with that being said, Gregory Jr., I think it was
Who?
That's what I said. Bill Huber pointed this out, though, in one of his articles. We need to keep an eye on Gregory Jr. because he was signed before OTAs and immediately got time with the first unit. Micah Robinson, the 7th-round pick, didn't practice during the minicamp. So let's say Micah Robinson is healthy and makes the 53. He's already behind the 8 ball, which kind of goes back to what Matt LaFleur was saying about these young players, right? So Gregory Jr., so shout out to Bill Huber for pointing that out. And I thought that was a great – I'm pretty sure it was Bill Huber that I read that article on. We need to keep an eye on Gregory Jr. because he was signed before OTAs and got that time with the first unit. So he's already kind of a step ahead. I went and watched his tape earlier. I was going to put a little mini chalk talk together. Going to be honest with you guys. Wasn't much tape on our boy Gregory Jr., but I think they make a great point here, Tim, about that. So if we're talking corners, whether you carry 5 or 6 coming out of camp, Keyshawn Nixon, Nate Hobbs, Carrington Valentine, those are your top 3 corners, right? Next would probably be for me, Kalen King, Micah Robinson, Kamal Haddon. That would be my 6, right? And again, whether Bo Melton makes the roster or not, let's just kind of exclude him for a second. So if those are your 6, and your 6 being Micah Robinson starts on pup, maybe it is Gregory Jr. that makes 53, man. Who knows?
Maybe it's Bo Melton.
Yeah, Hey, again, man, I was embarrassed to say it when we watched the last mini camp or whatever, and they had filmed for the DB foot drills, the footwork drills for the DBs. Boys, I'm telling you, I remember doing the show. I scrolled up, I believe, where you could only see the feet, and I said, "You guys tell me when you see the best one." It's like, oh, that dude, hands down, he's got the best feet doing the rope drill, right? Sure enough, it was Old Melton of all the corners that was in camp. So you never know, man. Never know. I'm trying to hold out hope on Kalen King, though, man. I really am.
Me too.
Michael Robinson had fun tape. He did.
Yeah, a lot of upside with Kalen King and Micah Robinson, I think. But obviously, Micah Robinson dealing with a little bit of injury issues right now. I agree with you. Beyond our core guys, I would look to Kalen King, and then Kamal Haddon would be the next two names that pop up to me. And then you're getting down to, like you said, Micah Robinson, Isaiah Dunn, those guys. Either way, when you look at it this way, with Jair not being in the fold anymore, crazier things have happened. I could see Bo making this team as a corner. I really could.
Yeah. Coach Lynn asks a good question. He says, is Gregory at slot, DB, or perimeter? The tape that I watched, it was very limited. He was in the slot. And what you noticed was him in on the run plays. That's the thing that kind of, usually you could tell, you could watch a little bit of tape of the player and go, that's what he does well. Kind of felt like that's what he did well. So, yeah, to answer
I'm with Coach. Hope he's a perimeter DB. Right. Well, guess not. We got our answer. we got a lot of slot guys, right? We need some boundary guys.
Right. But that's the beautiful thing about the Nate Hobbs signing, and why I believe they kind of prioritized him over others is, he's best in the slot, but he can kick outside too. So True. Let's say Keyshawn goes down, gets banged up, right? And let's say that Gregory Jr. just balls out in camp. He makes a 53. Who knows, man? Maybe Gregory Jr. passes up Bullard for the backup slot spot. I doubt it. I feel a lot better with Bullard. I think he played best in the slot as opposed to safety. But It's going to be fun, man. Cornerback room, Tim. Keep an eye on it, dude.
Oh, yeah.
How you're going to do it at camp, because you're going to come in. I'm going to go, did you watch every single position on the field, Tim, please?
No, I didn't. But you know where I'm going to hang out? I'm going to hang out on that south end zone at Ray Nitschke Field, and I'm going to watch our defense. So I will definitely keep my eyes on the corners for sure, and give you guys what I can as it develops.
I think that's a great game plan too, because as you guys know, offense gets the most love, the most pub during camp. Yep. So we'll get plenty of offensive updates. If we got Tim down there watching the defense, I think that's a great move, Tim. And I know you're not a defensive guy at all. You're going to hate doing this. But
yeah, I know.
Sarcasm. Sarcasm. All right, moving along, man. Safety. Love these two right here. I think the fact that our boy Evan Williams gets to learn under this guy, McKinney, for the next 3 years, absolutely fires me up, man. Evan Williams, I'm not going to be surprised if Evan takes a step back his sophomore year. I'm not going to freak out, right? Barring just a crazy setback. But Tim, in his second year, what did he finish at, like a 72 PFF grade or something? If he takes a step forward and puts himself in, let's say, the low 80s, oh my gosh, dude. Could you imagine how good? I mean, this is going to feel like the olden days where the safety room was just always solid. And the fact that Evan Williams proved on the back half of the season that he could play post safety just as well as he could play in the box. Yeah. And that allowed McKinney to come up in the box, play closer to the line of scrimmage and closer to the ball from time to time. It's exciting, man, because they started going away from throwing deep because they knew McKinney was back there patrolling post safety, right? And then all of a sudden when they stopped throwing deep, you see McKinney sliding up in the box more, covering the Y, covering, helping inside leverage and zone coverage against that number 2 in the slot, all those things. So these two guys I'm fired up about, man. As far as the safety position, though, Xavier McKinney, Evan Williams, right? And this is where it gets good. You got Javon Bullard, Zane Anderson, and Katano Ladapo. I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. Strictly from a safety standpoint, I like Zane Anderson better than Bullard right now. That's me. Based off what we've seen on tape, reading the quarterback, reacting, like literally playing his zone, which you're going to see from Carrington Valentine here in a second, playing his zone while keeping his eyes on the quarterback and then breaking off of his assignment and picking balls off. It actually makes the highlight reel on Carrington's highlight reel in Chalk Talk. You're going to see an interception by Zane Anderson. Now, Zane Anderson got a concussion there at the end of the year too. He plays the game very physical in that regard. But, Tim, I think I like Zane Anderson a little bit better than Bullard at the safety position. With that being said, really love Bullard as our backup slot. So if there's value. Please don't think I'm writing Bullard off. I think Bullard was great. Not great. Bullard was above average to good in the slot, in my opinion. He really struggled, though, at safety last year. So, with that being said, there's 5 at the top of the heap there. Let's say you've got to cut one of those 5. I'm going to put you on the spot here, Tim. Xavier McKinney, Evan Williams, they make the roster, right? Javon Bullard makes the roster. So it's going to come down to Zane Anderson or Katan Ola Home Depot. Who are you keeping, man? Lovely try. Who are you keeping, Zane Anderson or Oladapo? Maybe the question is, can you sneak one of those 2 guys on the practice squad? I don't know.
Can we keep all these guys? I want to keep Bugs Brown. I want to keep Baldwin. I want to
Bugs,
keep Omar Brown.
Hey, dude, there's going to be – I'm telling you right now, man, there's Jonathan Baldwin, right? Kazir Brown, like you said, they call him Bugs, right? Yep. And he's the dude, right? Wasn't he the guy, like his RAS was really wild? Am I thinking right? Was he like a bigger –
I think so, yeah.
Guy? Somebody look that up for me in the chat real quick if you don't care. Kazir Brown, Kahzirbrowin. Kazir Brown. Give me his build, height, and weight. But Tim, what do you think? If you had
I've got a suggestion here. Mm-hmm. You want to hear my suggestion?
Yeah.
I don't think we cut Zane or Katan Oladapo. I think you convert Bullard to a corner. Just say the guy is a slot corner, and you run with X Williams, Zane, KT, and then Omar Brown that's your safeties.
Yeah. You and Drew on the same page here. You said you could justify keeping an extra safety because Bullard is a nickel. That's exactly right.
Right there with you, brother. Yep.
But you guys, Drew and Tim, are avoiding my question. You have to choose between Zane Anderson and Oladapo. Who would it be, man?
Oh, I'm taking KT. I mean, no disrespect to Zane, who, a lot of the fan base found out was a real person about 8 months ago. He's a hell of a player, special teamer, contributes. Like you said, he's got the tape to back it up. But there's a reason why we grabbed KT Oladapo, and he's seen limited reps as it is. My gut's going to go with the youth movement. I'm going to take Oladapo over Zane.
And I think I would go – I want to go Zane so bad, but you make a great point, man.
Yeah.
It probably would end up being Oladapo if I put my own feet to the fire there. So Bates in the chat says 6'1", 223 was Bugs Brown. And I want to say going into the draft process, after they drafted him and we looked it up, I want to say some places had him listed at 6'2", and I was like, oh man, 6'2" at safety. That's exciting stuff.
Like that.
Probably closer to 6'1" than 6'2", I would imagine, or right around that mark. It looks like Drew D pulled the same measurements there. Thank you guys for that. Appreciate you, man.
I love that we're having this conversation about our safety room, right? I mean, you talk about the legends that played that position in Green Bay. You're talking about Charles Woodson, Leroy Butler, Nick Collins. I mean, we've had absolute dogs in the safety room. And then, of course, the past few years prior to Goody flipping that room, it's kind of the dark ages for our safeties. And it's nice to see this room now, and you can see a future with the safeties that we have for sure.
Yeah. 2-0 for this says, only negative I give Zane is the injury history. I think that's a great point, Zane. Or Zane, 2-0 for this. I think it's a great point. Like, you can't make the club in the tub, and if it comes down to they both got the same grade, the same marks from camp as coaches or we look at it like, okay, when camp practice is over, the coaches are going to go have a ice cold brew cha-cha and call it a night. No, that ain't how it works. Every snap is filmed at practice, and as soon as the guys go home, those coaches are burning midnight oil watching the tape from practice, right? Let's say they got the same amount of marks, right? And okay, Zane Anderson, Katano Ladapo, they both mark out perfect. All right, tiebreaker, what's the availability been like? And that kind of goes back to the youth movement, right? We're talking about too. So going to be interesting for sure, though. Let's see here.
A great point. I mean, we talk about Rome with the concussions, right? I mean, Zane Anderson's been concussed a few times too as well. So something you got to be keeping an eye on.
Definitely. Coach Lynn says Bugs Brown is a linebacker, LOL. No doubt, man. He built like a backer for sure. And who knows, man? We may come out in camp and he plays stack backer. You never know, right?
Thick.
Moving on to specialists, it makes me so happy. Every time we talk specialist, Tim, I get so excited that we got a kicker. You know what I mean?
We got two kickers, man.
Yeah. And you got Alex Hale. Obviously, you'll probably look to keep him on the practice squad again. Daniel Whelan, punter, just dominant. Long snapper, Matt Orzik. I like Matt Orzik. I don't know why, but it seems like there's more fans than I didn't expect that thought he did not do a good job. I thought he did well, man. But Brandon McManus with Daniel Whelan holding, That's the other thing, too. We look at Daniel Whelan and the way, he weighs 6'4", 6'5", something like that. His RAS is through the roof for a punter. But we seen it last year. A bad snap, nothing for him to go up, Air Jordan, grab that thing out of the air, change level, punt it away. All that stuff, great. Strong leg, great placement, handles the snap well, big wingspan for bad snaps, all that. We never talk about his ability to hold on kicks. I'm telling you, man. Brandon McManus and Daniel Whelan, probably the two unsung heroes on this Packers team. Man.
I agree. Great point about Danny Whelan, too. It's I guess a luxury would be the term to use when you don't have to have a guy like Malik Willis holding kicks for you. You don't need to put your backup, quarterback on the field to hold for place kicking. The fact that Danny Whelan can handle a bad snap as a punter and as a holder in the kicking game. Matter of fact, I mean, we're looking at this picture right here from McMoney's first game as a Packer when he kicked a game winner and walked off. You guys remember the chalk talk from that play? That was a bad snap, and our boy Danny Whelan got it down and got a good hold on it, and McManus took care of the rest. It's called being a professional, and gotta love it.
Speaking of being professional, Deadfish says, how can we improve the long snapper position? Got to target one in the first round of next year's draft. You trying to get us canceled over here, Deadfish.
Oh.
So there you go. There is just a quick run through of the offensive and defensive side of the depth chart getting ready for camp. As you guys know, everything's getting kicked off as we speak, man. There are players in town already. And, man, football season's here. I'm just so thankful for it, Tim. Yeah. Let's dive into a little chalk talk. You want to do a rapid-fire chalk talk of Carrington Valentine from last year, man?
Oh, let's go. All right. Kentucky's own. Let's do it.
Let's do it. So here's the deal, guys. If you're new here, appreciate you tuning in to PTA. Hit like, hit subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell notification. That way you get notified every time we go live. We go live daily. We break down tape. We do pregame shows, postgame shows. We do all the game prep leading up to the week coming up for the upcoming opponent. This season is going to be absolutely awesome. So make sure you know when we're going live by being tuned in and sub to the channel. Now, when we do chalk talks, right, and we do film breakdown on live streams, there's a chance the stream goes down. If it goes down, it'll come right back. If you want to prevent that from happening, you got two options. You can hop over to Rumble right now, Packer Fan Total Access on Rumble, or you can go to Twitter, X, @Packers_access. Make sure you're following both of those channels if you want to watch it in real time. It hasn't gone down in a long time. Just know there's a chance it does. Also, if you're watching this back on a playback and you're going, what happened to the chalk talk they were talking about? Look for a separate video because that means it got flagged copyright and we just edit it out and put up a separate video for your all's convenience. You also notice playlists on the YouTube channel. All the chalk talks will be put in their own playlist folder as well on our YouTube channel, so you can find those real easy. So let's get into it, Tim. This was a fun one here, man. And again, we already talked about the run stops and how I felt like he played the run pretty darn well last year as a second-year player. You guys know Carrington Valentine. I'm a Kentucky fan. Liked him at Kentucky. Hated him his rookie year in Green Bay. Didn't think he played well at all. Then lo and behold, sophomore season. Some players have sophomore slumps. We were talking about whether Edgerrin Cooper might have one, if he does end up wearing the green dot. Boy, it was totally the opposite for our boy Carrington Valentine. My man struggled his rookie year. In his second year, he just took off. This was a lot of fun watching him play. He led the team in terms of the cornerback room, including Jair Alexander in passer rating when targeted. He had the best there. He was also tied for the team lead in the cornerback room with 2 interceptions. He did not allow a touchdown all year. We covered the run stops earlier. Now we're going to get into some of the targets, all right? So here we are. The one thing I want you to notice here, guys, people still believe that we play man coverage and we allow cornerbacks to follow certain targets. That has not happened, right? If it has, it's a very minute amount of time since Hafley's been here, and especially since Joe Barry was the defense coordinator as well. You're going to notice with Carrington Valentine, he always lined up at the right cornerback spot. Now, that's left from the offense's perspective, right cornerback from the defense's perspective. And I say that because I don't like when they have cornerbacks travel because you've got a dominant eye. Every human being has a dominant eye, right? And there's some cornerbacks that their left eye may be dominant, right? It may be dominant, so you'll want to play on one side of the formation rather than the other. That stuff matters. So just wanted to point that out. You'll notice Carrington is always on the same side of the field, okay, when we break down his tape. So here he is lined up in the one at right cornerback. When we say one, that's your number one receiver, okay? Let me do it in the red so you can see it. That's the one. That's the two. You always count outside in 1, 2. So he's lined up over the one on the left side. Let's roll the tape. Now notice the defense they're playing here, Tim. This kind of looks like this might be a cover 6 look. So you got deep quarter, and this looks like deep half, although you'd have to keep an eye on this corner to see if he drops out and it's truly a cover 4 defense. But notice here, ball snapped, McKinney, I think that's McKinney, whoever the safety is, has got to pick up the 2 because they're dropping him, right? So now it's if and then. If the 2 breaks the 10-yard mark, then it becomes man coverage. So Carrington's already flipped his hips, and he's ready to go vert in case this guy presses McKinney, okay? So watch him flip his hips and just run with him stride for stride, eye on the ball the entire time. Great play, batting it down and preventing a touchdown.
Perfect leverage, too, by CV there.
Great, man. And again, just you can see, too, he's watching the quarterback in case they break this thing off. He's ready to throttle it down and cover that as well. Yep. But just a great job getting back there and making a play on the ball and a deep ball here from Anthony Richardson. This might have been Alec Pierce. Kind of hard to tell here. But whoever number 11 is, y'all can check it. Put it in the chat. So, again, you're seeing him in a deep ball here. And you've seen our boy McKinney had to hesitate because he knows he's got to be able to pick up the 2, right? And that's where the read should have gone.
Yeah.
Anthony Richardson. This is bad. You got to be able to hammer that down the seam right there.
Yeah, because X ended up going to the boundary with CV there.
Right. And you see him right there hesitate a little bit too. But luckily, here's the thing I want to point out. If CV misreads this and doesn't know his assignment,
oh, it's a touchdown.
McKinney's cooked because McKinney didn't make a decision either way, right?
Yep.
Hesitated. But again, you've got your second year, 7th round player making a play on the deep ball and the go ball, man. Really, really nice play by Carrington there.
Love it.
All right, next play. We'll kind of go rapid fire here, keep it short tonight. Now we're against the Bears. Where's he lined up again, Tim? On the right from the defense's perspective. So he's at right cornerback, right? And he's lined up on the 1 out here. And let's watch this play. So they're inside the 10. Again, you've seen Bull communicating here with McKinney. They're trying to get something, filtered out here, figured out. So look, the 1 breaks inside. Watch Carrington, right? Carrington knows, okay, that dude's out of my zone. Watch his eyes, Tim. As soon as that guy leaves his zone, look at where he's looking for work. See the stripe on his helmet?
Yep.
He's looking over here. He's already looking for a crossing pattern, right? And he knows if and then underneath, Quay's got the guy underneath. So he can completely bail on this zone over here and do what we call going looking for work. And he's already picked him up. So with that in mind, let's start to play over. And I want you guys to watch him, okay? He's covering the 1. He runs across her. Look at him. Look for work.
Yep.
Scrape, strafe.
Beautiful.
Nowhere to throw that football. No.
Beautiful. Yeah. He knows Cooper's got that middle area right there. That's why he can break off. I don't know
Exactly.
if that was that Moore, DJ Moore, or whoever that was.
Yeah.
Number 2.
Everybody just looking for work, playing it. Just great defense, man. There's nobody open, right?
Great job by Cooper there to just step up, just enough to kind of make them think, step up, don't throw that ball.
No. And again, this is what Caleb Williams does not do well. He does not read post snap well. You see him just kind of, there's nowhere to throw that ball, right? And a great job by Carrington there, just pinching that route off, man. And what I love about Carrington here is using the out of bounds as an extra defender. So Great job there. All right, next play. Once again, where's he at, Tim? Right cornerback, okay? And he's not man up, but he's looking to cover the 1, if and then, of course. To me, this doesn't look like man. It may end up being. Let's see here. As the ball snap. This is against San Francisco, by the way. Ball snap. Yeah, look, this is just kind of another quarter or another cover 6 look, it looks like. This could be cover 3, kind of shaping up for cover 3, right? Could be. Yeah. But this kind of looks like half, quarter, right? And that's what we call cover 6. And what that means, guys, when we say cover 6, if indeed it is, and I'm not 100% sure it is right here, it's cover 4 up here, cover 2 down here, okay? So look at him just kind of fading back. They're going to chop it down. I don't know if that's Debo or not. I think it might be Debo. But look at Carrington. The ball's already out, but look at Carrington already breaking on the ball.
Oh, yeah, that's Debo.
Just all over it, man. Again,
and that's a drop, by the way. For everyone wondering what a drop is, that's a drop.
Exactly. And I'm sure the people that claim Jaden Reed diving for a fourth down inaccurate throw and it hitting off his hands was a drop were the same ones begging for Deebo Samuel's overweight butt to be in Green Bay this year. So we'll just leave that one alone. But anyway, nobody in our chat I know does that, but I'm on the interwebs quite often. And boy, oh boy.
For sure.
But again,
you got to think if Deebo comes up with that ball, CV is going to put the boom on him right here.
Yeah.
Even if he does catch that.
This definitely looks like a cover 3 defense to me, Tim.
Yeah.
Because you can see Evan looking to take the cross route. And Evan holding his water there. I love it. He really made him second guess that decision over the middle. But again, it's not like Carrington broke this pass up, but I just want to show how he's covering deep and still getting within 2 to 3 yards of the receiver to be ready to make a play there.
Pretty good rep from 59, Tyron Hopper. One of his snaps here. A few of them we saw last year. Moving pretty well.
We got – I'm sorry, man. I looked at the chat. We got AFAM's uncle in the chat, evidently.
What? AFAM's uncle?
His mom disappeared from the chat, and now his uncle's back.
So. What?
Yeah, his mom is always here in spirit. But, yeah, we got AFAM's uncle. So, see, this is why it takes so long to get through Chalk Talk, you idiots in the chat. All right, let's move it along. Next play. Again, just wanted to show he played, over-the-top leverage, over-the-top technique, held his water, no explosive play. And when you force them to dink and dunk their way down the field, like you said, good coverage underneath with Tyron Hopper. Tyron Hopper ready to hit that rib cage in case Deebo did bring that pass down.
You know it.
Good. So, all right, here he is again, right cornerback again. In terms of deployment, understanding where Carrington Valentine plays, right corner, right? Here he is over the one. Now, this is really interesting because notice you got a linebacker on the tight end, and Carrington's looking to cover the one. Well, they're going to cheat motion the linebacker, or not the linebacker, the tight end, I apologize. The tight end out. The linebacker is going to follow him, and then you got Carrington one-on-one with the one here. So let's see what it is here. He's just going to run a quick little, kind of like a spot route, quick curl, slurl, bang. Look how quick he's on the ball.
Oh,
telling you, man.
I might be jumping the gun a little bit, but I'm just going to go ahead and say this about Carrington Valentine.
Pay that man his money.
You can't do that mid-drink. Listen, it's early for me. We've seen a bad year, right? We've seen a good year. If he solidifies what he did last year, stabilized, I guess you could say, or has an even better year this year, Tim, I'm on board. Now, we don't have to worry about it for 2 more years, but I'm with you, man. I mean, it's what you're seeing on tape is pretty damn solid, man.
Yep.
People say, well, okay, you're showing a highlight reel. That's true. What about the passer rating when targeted? It was better than Jaws. What about the interceptions? He tied Ja. What about his health? He played way more games than Ja. Like he plays the run better than Ja. Now, I'm not saying he's a better cover corner than Ja, especially in Ja's prime, but it's just worth mentioning to this point, the numbers check out, the tape checks out, and he's the highest PFF returning grade in our cornerback room. Everything across the board just kind of lines up. That's what we mean when we say PFF isn't everything. The tape, to me, is everything. You want to know what happened? Watch the tape.
Yep.
But when you got sites like PFF and NFL Pro, you can stats can pique your attention or grab your attention and pique your interest. Like, okay, I need to go watch that. You go watch it. The tape confirms it. That's how you know what you got. So, all right. Now he's showing a little press tech here. Once again, right corner lined up on the one against Detroit. He's showing press. Let's see if he actually plays press, Tim, because it kind of looks like right here, man, single high. There may be a drop. They may fire. So it might just be cover one with a mock blitz or a cover one. Yeah, that would be a mock blitz. Or it might be a will blitz as well, right? Could fire the Sam off there. But let's watch him here and see if he bails or if he's playing man. This looks like man coverage right here. So what he's playing is mirror match. That's called mirror match, Tim. It's a similar technique to press, but you're not putting your hands on him. You just mirror his movements all the way down the field. And listen, they tried to go back shoulder here. The receiver wasn't ready, but I just want you to look at how well Carrington covers this guy. He's right in his hip pocket the whole way.
Like a blanket.
Yeah.
And I know this is a CV Chalk Talk, but look at the top of your screen. Keyshawn doing a great job on Amon-Ra St. Brown as well.
Yep. Look at Bull getting cooked a little bit right there. But again, when you're in cover one man, I mean, you're kind of on an island, you know.
I'll take it. He kept him in front of him at least.
Yeah. Carrington, though, man, just in the hip pocket.
All over it, stride for stride.
Yeah. All right. Next play. Once again, you're going to get tired of hearing me say,
right?
It's on the surface, it looks like cover one man. We're up here pressing, right? This guy looks to be walking up, maybe pressing. Carrington following the one out. You got a single high look, or what we call middle field close look. Let's see what they end up running here, though. Might end up breaking off and playing zone. It could be match. Let's see if we can pick it up. So look, a little press. See him smack him?
Yep.
So we got a little press up top. Now he's going to bell. Just press and bell, right? This looks like it's just zone. I don't think it's man. So what we're playing here, Tim, looks like a cover 2 zone. All right, and what that means,
Eric Stokes got absolutely cooked by DK Metcalf on the bottom of your screen.
With a cover 2 zone, probably some match principles, probably similar to red 2 that Bill Belichick ran. Deep half, right? And then everybody's kind of playing underneath, right? He's probably playing curl flat, curl to the flat if you need it. Could be just playing spot drop, hook curl, deep. Right?
Yep.
Yeah. Curl flat. Top look here. So again, focus on our boy up top in Carrington Valentine. Right, a little smack. Now he's going to bail. But look right here. Ball is on the quarterback, and he just that little bit of press at the line of scrimmage. The ball is out, and look at Carrington. Here's the ball right here, guys. Right, it's already in the air. Look at Carrington. Eyes on the quarterback the whole way. Sees it the whole way. So he jams him at the line of scrimmage. They try to go with a fade. He's in perfect position. Should have been picked off. But still a great job, a great play on the ball there. As you can see, absolutely. Lines up, looks like man, ends up being zone. Now, what you're seeing here is a little match principle, though I will say this. He's matching the 3. The backer is matching the 3. What that means is if and then, okay, with this match. The tight end, who is the 3, if the 3 goes vert, now it becomes man. If the 3 goes vert, the Y goes vert, it becomes man coverage and essentially turns into a Tampa 2 look. Deep middle, deep half, deep half. That makes sense? So has nothing to do with Carrington. It just caught it here on the backside. So he flips his hips and goes. Carrington, you can't play that any better, guy. Let me give you an example here. This is perfect. This, Tim, is how you play press, curl flat, right?
Yep.
Look at him in position, eye on the quarterback, everything. Yep. This is how you don't play it. Look at Eric Stokes.
Somebody come look at this. Thank God we had a safety on the shelf.
I'm telling you, Eric Stokes ends up on the outside with his hands around the waist of DK Metcalf. Now, is it easier to cover, or is it harder to cover DK than whoever Carrington's got? It's possible, right? Also, noticing this on the tape too, Tim. This could have been cover 6 match, deep half. See how he's kind of hanging out towards the quarter. And then you got Carrington's going to bail out, but nonetheless, I think it's deep half. Because if it was 6, Tim, instead of 2, he would have went right here. And you'd have probably let 45 just let him go. So this was definitely cover 2 match is what it was. So,
okay.
But again, Carrington, great play on the ball there. All right, let's move it along. Next play. I see Coldplay getting mentioned in the chat again. Congratulations. All right. So next play here. Once again, he's lined up at right cornerback. Let's roll the tape. It's against the Saints. So he's playing cushion here. Some kind of blitz maybe. Everybody bots on the play fake, right? Now look at Carrington right here, Tim. Question is he in man coverage or not? Doesn't look like it to me. Let's see what he does here. 11 takes off. Carrington's just going to kind of let him go into McKinney's spot, right? Now look at Carrington. Looking for work. Going to come back now. This is one of those cross-country routes, right? Now, it gets picked off by Zane. That's the one I was talking about. When I say cross-country, here's what I'm talking about. We've always called it cross-country. You guys may call it. There's some that's like a dragon wheel. Others, the cross-country is a crosser that you kind of wheel off up here. Does that make sense?
And watch how quick Xavier McKinney in the middle of the field picks it up. Watch his right arm. He's going to point it out right away. See it?
Yeah. So this, yep. And this right here is actually what we would call a dragon wheel. He's going to drag and then wheel it off. Okay, so that's a dragon wheel. So watch Carrington. Carrington, eyes on the quarterback, watching the play develop. He doesn't panic. There's no one to cover his 11 leads. It'd be real easy to go with him or hammer down, right, to try to look for work. But he stays patient. He's going to pick up the Y on the dragon wheel and bail out. Watch him here. See him? He's got his eyes on him right now. Oh, I know what we're up to. Let me get back. Could have been picked off by Carrington, but instead it was Zane that picked it off. So Great job.
Absolutely.
And I want to point this out with Zane. I know we're talking Carrington, but it's worth mentioning. Zane here completely bails on his zone because he knows it's not a big threat. Goes back, finds the quarterback's eyes, bang, interception. But again, great coverage by Carrington and an even better play on the ball than Zane Anderson. So,
Absolutely.
all right, here we are against the Vikings. We're inside the 10-yard line. You'll notice a lot of these plays, some of Carrington's highlights. Tim, you notice they come in the red zone in some cases inside the 10?
Yep.
Make a mental note of that. When we're doing chalk talk, the goal is learn in terms of deployment how the Packers are using these players, where we're on offense or defense, but also it's what sticks out to you. What's their superpower? What do they do well? Red zone coverage. Carrington's pretty damn good, man.
Yep.
So he's on the
looks
one
like
right
man
now.
as well right here, right?
It looks like it. Yeah, we'll see how it develops. I'm with you. It definitely looks like man off the bat. Of course, this soft right here, they might be in some kind of zone or a little matchy look, but he's on Addison right now. Let's see if there's any motion. I can't remember if KOC uses motion here or not. He does not. So he's on the one, right? Gets hands on him. It is man coverage to me, Tim. That's what it looks like.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely man. So they're playing a cover one robber, it looks like. I could be wrong, but with robber, it's real simple, guys. This safety goes deep. Bullard's going to rob. So he's going to kind of hang around down underneath. I think this guy becomes man coverage, maybe not on the tackle. On the tight end there.
Tight end, yeah.
So you'll see what I'm talking about. You'll see Bullard's going to kind of play a little robber here, I believe.
Yeah.
See how he's just kind of robbing. Actually, he was manned up on the tight end. The tight end stayed in the block, so he just kind of sits in his zone. That's what he did. But it is man coverage. Now, let's get back to the target here. Look at our boy Carrington roughing him up out there. Jordan Addison. Look at this. Right?
Love it. Yep.
Looking for the ball already. Ball out.
Yep.
Gets back. No problem. So he covers his guy, and even though he's got his guy locked down, playing physical, forces him to the boundary there, he still has the wherewithal to go after the ball, even though the ball's thrown away. So,
good job by Keyshawn there on arguably the best receiver in the NFL,
mm-hmm.
kind of forcing Jefferson towards McKinney.
Yep. Tight window there, for sure.
Yep.
All right. Up next, he's back at right cornerback again, he being Carrington, lined up in the one. All right. So when it comes to the tight end here, looks like it could be here or here. It looks like McKinney's got eyes on the tight end to me. I could be wrong, though. If that's the case, then you probably got a match or a man down here. Let's see what happens. Watch Carrington. Backpedal, not panicking. He sees the out route. Watch him already break. Bang. Oh, a little double move. So now it's a double move, right? If and then he knows as he sees him chop this down and flip his hips and goes back inside, guess what? He's off the hook now. So this guy's got the receiver now. Let's see if Carrington bails here. And this is just good awareness if he does. Yep. See him go look for work.
Look how quick he turns, too.
It's so smooth, man. It's so fluid. It's a 7th-round pick.
Yep.
It's so fluid. And look, get him back, getting the interception. Guys, that's if and then right there, man. And reading the quarterback's eyes, right?
Yep.
Like
thank goodness, because is that Stokes getting cooked again?
No, I think that's actually
– is that McKinney? Just keeping him in front. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's a tough play for McKinney. I'm going to explain why. Because this is definitely like a match defense. If the tight end goes vert, this becomes man coverage. Well, guess what? McKinney's got to protect the biggest part of the field. So he's going to force him to the boundary because that's a tougher throw for a quarterback to make and an even tougher catch in a tight window on the sideline. But again, if and then, right? And what it is if this guy breaks in, if the one breaks in, then this becomes man coverage. Carrington knows that. As soon as he sees that receiver flip back inside, he's already getting back because he knows McKinney needs help playing. He's playing post leverage on the 2, which is the Y. And look at Carrington go back and just snatch that ball. Guys, that's not just okay, well, that's, nothing special about that. That's a pretty special play in match defense.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if he bites down there and doesn't go deep, that's a completion.
First down.
Yep.
And instead, you got the ball back in Vikings territory. Now, let's talk about the negative, right? Don't be holding that thing like a loaf of bread. You'll get it poked out. You'll see what I'm talking about. He'll go, I'm going to make a play. Oh, yeah. Thank God.
Oh, Edrin Cooper, thank you.
Yeah, I think it was Carl Brooks, I believe.
Was that Brooks that fell on it?
Let's see. Again.
56 and 94. Both saved the day there.
Right here, he's probably thinking, okay, yeah, I just need to probably get down. Now, right here, he's going, oh, I'm housing this. Now, the problem is, I think it might be Justin Jefferson that has the high football IQ. It is. Nope, actually, it was up here, wasn't it? He's chasing. This is the guy that bats it out. So right here, Carrington's, he's just getting greedy, man.
Yeah, don't cut it back, man. Just go out of bounds.
And again, Carl Brooks, right? Carl Brooks on the ball. Edgerrin Cooper there too, though. You're right, Tim. He was right there on it too. So that could have been disastrous. But, all right. Next play. Notice he was up toward the line of scrimmage, kind of sugaring a little press look, right? And this is against the Bears. Once again, right cornerback. Now he's going to back off. Ball snap. Oh, yeah, little bubble, right? Little bubble route. With the bubble, guys, it's real simple. The receiver just takes a step back and bubbles out toward the sideline. Usually it's a bubble screen. In this case, it's just a bubble. He's thinking he's going to make Carrington miss. That's what he's going to do here, Tim. And he wrong. Bang. Hat on the ball, fumble, Packers ball. That's a nice play right there, man. Again, watch him. Look at no hesitation. Watch him break, Tim. Boom. This is probably a choice route at the line. As soon as they seen him back off the line, him being Carrington, they probably said, let's go bubble, right? They're on the same page. Watch him. Back off, bubble.
I love how as soon as he backs off, he knows he's got to get up there too. He sees them going there.
Yeah. That's a beautiful play, man. Hat on the ball too, dude.
Like I said, it might be early, but
Pay that man his money.
I love it. Ball out, and I think it's Bullard that recovers it, if I remember correctly. Yeah, Bullard gets on the ball. Watch Bull on this play too, guys. Look how quick he gets out there.
Yep.
Carrington misses. Bull's cleaning it up. That's a positive rep. Notice Gary too. Gary recognizes it, right? Is that Gary? Yeah. Gary out there too. So, telling you, man, Hafley had these boys with their eyes on the ball. There's no doubt about it. Big play there. See if we got one more. Is that it? That might be it. That's it, Tim. There you go. Carrington, Valentine. Again, we hit the run stops earlier. We hit some of the short pass stops as well. These were some of his targets. Making a play on the ball. You've seen 2 interceptions. I believe we got both interceptions in there.
Yep.
You've seen another one that got dropped. He should have had 3 picks last year. I'm not saying that Carrington Valentine's an all-pro. I'm not saying he's Pro Bowl caliber yet. All I'm saying is if you go watch his 2023 tape and then watch his 2024 tape, his 2023 tape, looking like a solid starting cornerback. The reality is passer rating when targeted suggests he was our best corner last year. Interceptions suggest he was our best cornerback last year. Touchdowns allowed suggests he was our best cornerback last year.
And all leading you to answer the question as to why we didn't give Ja that money.
Yeah, and that's the thing though. Tim, it was $6 million, right?
I know. It shows how much they believe in CV for them not to drop the $6 million to keep Ja here. Clearly they feel good about Carrington.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I'm thinking, right?
Yeah. And see, this is what I keep coming back to. 2-0 for this is, so you're saying that Jair wasn't our best cornerback? I can't, to quote Ricky Bobby, I'm too drunk to taste that chicken. I can't do it. I can't bring myself to say Carrington was better than Ja last year. I was in Tennessee when Ja took the pick 6. But this is why it's important to understand what the play call was. When we watched it back on Chalk Talk that Tuesday when we got back from Nashville in studio, he broke completely off of his assignment. I guarantee you he got a -2 on that play.
Yep.
So it's like it worked out. It's just like in Philly week 1. He got his other both interceptions that Jair had. Both interceptions Jair had last year, he broke off his assignment to get the interception. There's a reasonable, unless I'm missing something.
And we remember those, but how many times do we remember him breaking an assignment and it costing us?
Right, exactly. Yeah. In that same game, week 1, A.J. Brown cooked him because he bid on a double move and didn't play with the proper leverage. What you're seeing in the difference with the way Ja was playing in this defense when healthy in Carrington is Ja would play aggressive underneath and try to rebound with athleticism deep, and he got cooked. With Carrington, he's playing conservative up top and aggressive underneath when he needs to. So it's like it's flipped. And Tim, man, they might have sat down, exit interviews. Think about this, guys. We're putting this whole puzzle piece together here. When exit interviews, the media said they went to talk to Ja, and Ja said, I ain't got nothing good to say. I ain't saying anything. I ain't speaking to y'all. I'm not even going to be here next year. That's what he said. Now, that was after the exit interview, to the best of my knowledge. If you guys heard it different, let me know. I think it was after the exit interview. So if he goes in the exit interview and they tell him, listen, bub, it's going to take a lot to bring you back next year. I don't think we're going to do it. If that's the case, maybe this was the plan all along.
Could be.
I think
nothing nice to say comment was locker clean out after the loss in the playoffs.
But see, I thought they said it was exit interview. I think Jason Wilde, I could be wrong, but I think Jason Wilde said, locker clean out. That's after exit interviews. So they basically, when you do the locker clean out, like you got the final game, right? That's not when it happened. It happened after exit interviews. Then everybody goes and cleans their locker out and they're out the door. That's the way I understand it. I could be wrong. You guys correct me. Tim, you might be right there too. But regardless, it kind of feels like, I know this, Rob Domofsky, guys. I know some people don't like Rob. I've never had a bad experience with him personally. I'm just being honest with you guys as a fan. And I'm just a fan. I ain't nothing, no different than anybody else in the chat. But I've never had a negative experience with him. There's a lot of people that need to go to Rob and just tweet at him and go, hey, man, you called it.
Yep.
My bad because there were people saying he's trying to run Jair, blah, blah, blah. And then when they thought Jair was coming back, I know one particular guy on Twitter that I absolutely can't stand, and he was just, it's stupid to think that Jair's not returning to Green Bay. And he's just all on his high horse, doing his thing. Boy, he not one of these people that went back to Rob and said, hey, man, you called it. Because what Rob said was, there's a 99.5% chance Jair's not back because they don't want him back. And I didn't go at Rob, but I was thinking, no, they want him back at the right price. Guys, $6 million, you can't get a much rider down here in Kentucky. We're going to say it like that, rider price, right?
Yep.
Man, I think Rob knew right out the gate he had a good source, and they're like, they are done with Jair.
And what did he take in Baltimore? 1 year, $7 million or something?
It was right at 6, from what I understand. Now, there's some guarantee stuff, but I do know this. It was confirmed, okay? Confirmed by Jair's dad. Now, if you want to say Jair's dad's lying, that's totally cool. I get it. But Jair's dad said they would have stayed in Green Bay for the same deal he got in Baltimore. But they being Jair and his family would have stayed in Green Bay. That would suggest, and then what I heard later was it was to the tune of $4 million. They weren't willing to go to $6 million. So
got it.
That's where I differ. I'm like, okay, if he wanted to be in Green Bay, what's it going to hurt to get him back for $6 million? That's why I was kind of on that train. But man, you know what though, Tim? I'll have to eat some crow. Not really eat crow, but I'll just say, hey man, I was wrong. If we come out early in this year, and I'm not wishing this on Ja, but let's say Ja comes out in week 2 or 3 and he gets banged up and he's on IR for 6 weeks. We're going to be going, Goody did it again, right? And especially if Carrington's balling out too. So let's see here. United Bates says Jair Alexander signed a 1-year, $4 million contract with the Baltimore Ravens in June of 2025 with $2 million incentives, bringing the maximum value to $6 million. So his dad, from what I understand, said it was $4 million. They did not want to give the 2 additional in incentives. So that's what the way I understood it. I could be wrong, but you guys can go listen to that interview too. He was on I want to say it was ESPN Milwaukee or ESPN Madison where he did that. So United Bates said the incentives are tied up to playing time, $500K each for reaching 35%, 40%, 45%, and 50% of the team snaps. So,
well, it begs the question: what about
65%?
65%. That's
what if he gets 65% of the snaps?
That's a great question, Tim. Asking all the tough questions in here tonight. All right. So there you go. Carrington Chalk Talk. This is a fun episode, Tim. We covered a lot, man. I appreciate that. I know there's a bunch of people in here watching. If this is your first time tuning in, hit that like, hit subscribe if you like daily Packers content. This is the type of stuff you're going to get all year long. You get film breakdown, pregame show, postgame shows. We're going to be covering the team throughout the week. Camp's going to be absolutely awesome. We'll be in here live every single day giving you training camp updates. Might even get some random live streams during the day if news breaks. We're going to be looking for the Zach Tom contract. We're going to be looking for the Elton Jenkins, them resolving that whole deal.
Wait, did you just say Zach Tom?
I did.
Pay that man his money.
Please pay that man his money. So, yeah, we got everything covered here, though. So I appreciate y'all tuning in. And anything we miss, hit us up in the comments. All right. Listen, this isn't anybody sitting over here doing a podcast going, listen to me talk. Let me tell you what's going on. It's us collectively as fans coming together, figuring everything out, and having a good time talking ball. So really, really appreciate everybody in the chat tonight. Y'all were awesome. Tim, thank you for your time, Bubba.
Thanks for having me, Clay. See you tomorrow.
Yeah, everybody have a great day. Be safe out there on this Saturday evening, all right? As we always say, if you drink, don't drive. Do the watermelon crawl. We'll see you.
Here we go.
We're out.
Bye, guys.